SheetPlanner is a powerful Mac OS app that combines several tools into a single application that helps you organize information, manage your projects, and schedule your tasks and activities with unparalleled power and flexibility. With SheetPlanner, you can get organized by listing and categorizing your activities in the outline view, make a plan by visualizing your goals, projects, and schedule in the timeline view, and get things done using filtering and focus tools to concentrate on what's important right now. The main SheetPlanner interface is broken down into several different sections. First is the sidebar. The sidebar shows the contents of your SheetPlanner document and allows you to access sheets contained in the document quickly. At the top of the sidebar is the library, which has 4 different view options: All Sheets, Recents, Favorites, and Recently Deleted. All Sheets lists all the sheets inside of your SheetPlanner document and will show all the sheets even if organized into folders. The Recents section shows the sheets that you have recently viewed, and Favorites shows any sheets that you've pinned as favorites by clicking on the star icon next to the name in the sidebar. You can also mark a sheet as a favorite by right-clicking on the sheet and selecting Add Sheet to Favorites from the contextual menu. Recently Deleted shows any sheets that you've recently moved to the trash, and if you want to remove the sheets here completely, you can right-click on a sheet and select Permanently Delete Sheet from the contextual menu. If, however, you made a mistake and you want to put that sheet back, you can do that too by selecting Undelete Sheet instead. All of these views can be folded by clicking the disclosure triangle next to the view name. Below the library is the Sheets section. This shows all of your sheets, and it allows you to quickly jump between them by clicking on them. Each of these sheets can be nested and organized inside of folders, and each of these sheets is also accessible via keyboard shortcut, which is determined by their place in the Sheets section and discoverable by clicking on the Sheet option in the menu bar. The keyboard shortcuts will be displayed at the bottom of the menu next to the corresponding sheet name. You can access additional commands via the contextual menu, like Duplicate Sheet, which makes a copy of the sheet and preserves the column formatting, but doesn't copy over any of the row data. Or Duplicate Sheet and Rows, which not only copies the formatting of the sheet, but also duplicates all of that data. You can also open multiple sheets using tabs by selecting Show Sheet in New Tab. This creates a tab view much like a web browser, which allows you to jump back and forth between different sheets or views in your SheetPlanner document. The next part of the interface is where all the magic actually happens. Sheets are made up of cells, which are arranged in a pattern of rows and columns, which will be familiar to anyone who has used a spreadsheet app like Numbers or Excel. Rows go from left to right and are selectable by the row label to the left of the desired row. By clicking the menu arrow, you can do things like duplicate or delete the row and add a row before or after the selected row. The 3 bars indicate a grab handle, which allows you to move the row to a new location. You can drag it inside of another row to nest it, or position it above or below the selected row to rearrange it. Columns, on the other hand, go from top to bottom, and these allow you to filter information in many interesting ways. We cover the specifics of columns in greater detail in another video, so for now, just understand that things like topics, start dates, and finish dates all exist inside of columns, which can be sorted easily by clicking the disclosure triangle and selecting to either sort in ascending or descending order. Ascending will sort the information in the columns from the lowest value to the highest, while descending will sort from the highest value to the lowest. The next part of the SheetPlanner interface is the inspector. This is where you can customize the contents of the selected cell, column, row, or document. For example, You can use the inspector to change the font, size, and appearance of the text in a cell, change the theme for the entire document, or change types and data for columns and rows. We cover the inspector and what appears here in more detail in the columns and custom columns videos. The next part of the SheetPlanner interface is the toolbar. This gives you quick access to several of the commonly used controls that you will need in SheetPlanner. You can customize what appears in the toolbar by right-clicking on it and selecting Customize Toolbar, then dragging the controls that you want into the appropriate location in the toolbar. But for now, let's just take a look at the default controls and break these down one by one. First, on the left is the Sidebar button. This button shows or hides the sidebar and the sheet library from the main interface. You can also show and hide the sidebar by using the keyboard shortcut Option-Command-S. Next is the Add button. Clicking the plus button will create a new row below the currently selected row. Clicking on the menu arrow allows you to select from additional options like adding the row above the current row instead, or adding a new column or sheet. You can even create a new folder in the Sheets section in the sidebar for nesting and organizing your sheets. Next are the buttons to indent or outdent. These affect the nesting of the currently selected row and its respective place in the outline. By indenting, you move the row or topic inside the parent row or the topic above it. By outdenting, you can return the row or topic to the same hierarchical level as the row or topic above it, or even break it out further, which will affect the row's positioning in the current outline. Next are the controls to expand or collapse the selected rows. Selecting the Expand button will expand the currently selected row, which shows all of the rows that are nested inside it. Likewise, Collapse will fold all of those child rows back inside. You can also click the buttons to expand all rows in the entire sheet, or choose to collapse everything if you want to keep your sheet neat and tidy. Next is the Focus button. This allows you to focus only on the selected row and any rows nested inside of it, hiding the rest of the rows in your sheet so you don't get distracted. When you're done with focus mode, you can click the X in the column to leave focus mode and return to the normal view. Next is the control for showing or hiding completed tasks. By default, this is set to Show Completed, which shows all of the completed tasks in the contents of your sheet. But you can also select Show Completed Today, which will hide the tasks that were completed earlier than that. But it will still show the tasks that were completed today along with your uncompleted tasks. The other option is Hide Completed, which hides all of your completed tasks, leaving just the ones that you haven't done yet in your sheet view. The next control allows you to change the connection dependency. This allows you to set a task as dependent on another, making sure that it can't be accidentally completed too early. Select the tasks you want to connect and then click this button to connect them. By default, the connection made here will be a finish to start connection, which means the end or the finish of the previous task is what enables the start of the next one. But you can use the menu arrow here to select a different type of connection if you prefer, like Start to Finish, which connects the start of a task to the finish of another task, or even Start to Start or Finish to Finish. The type of connection can be seen by the representative icons in the appropriate columns, and you can remove connections by selecting the connected cells and clicking this button in the toolbar again to disconnect them. The next button in the toolbar is the Filter button. This button allows you to apply a filter to the sheet based on the information in the currently selected cell. For example, if you select a cell with a date in it and click the Filter Cell button, a filter will automatically be created that matches the value of that cell, displaying only the information in the sheet that is an exact match. We cover filters in more detail in another video, so for now, just know that it's a powerful way to see only the information in your sheet that you are looking for. The next button is the Fill Down button. This allows you to select several cells and recreate the information in the top row for the rest of the selected cells. For example, if you have a bunch of cells that you want to add a date to, but you don't want to manually add it to each one, just make sure the date's added to the top row, select a bunch of cells at once, and then click the Fill Down button. This date will automatically be added to the rest of the selected rows. On the right side of the toolbar, there's a search box that you can use to search your entire sheet for a specific term. And the last button toggles the inspector on and off. But the last thing we need to look at in this video are the different view and orientation options. There are 4 views that you can choose from in SheetPlanner. The default is the outline view, which you see here, that shows hierarchical information in rows and in columns. The next option is the timeline view, which shows your information in a view that helps you visualize your project's schedule. There are also 2 calendar-based views for month and year. The month view lets you see the start and finish dates of your projects by default, and the year view shows a heat map to indicate which dates have a lot of tasks associated with them. Look at the additional videos for the outline view, the timeline view, and the calendar views for more information on how these all work. For now, just understand that clicking on the buttons for each view will toggle them on or off, and will add them to the current view in SheetPlanner, allowing you to see those multiple views side by side. When you have multiple views open at once, you can select from the different orientation options to arrange them vertically or horizontally depending on your preference. And if you prefer to replace the current view or views with a single view from this toolbar, just hold the Option key and click the desired view button.